Greetings, YouTube. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm getting ready for bed, but I finally was able to watch the video that so many of you sent my way, including Mr. Yarg, Brian Shadow Strike, many others that I could spend 2 minutes introing this video, just giving shoutouts. So, thank you all for sending it my way. Now, I'm going to show some of the, as my game disconnects, some of the screenshots, some of the video, but I don't know if I actually can legally play the video, because this is why when people say, Prof, can you just commentate my YouTube video? I say no, because when it's on YouTube, you technically own the copyright, and unless you send me the original file that I can react to, I don't want to ever feel like I'm disrespecting or unethically commenting on someone else's intellectual property. I've seen it done plenty of times in reaction videos and everything from like singers and movies to whatever, but I just don't feel on this channel like I'm comfortable even crossing that line. So I'm going to do something that I rarely do, which is pull up a YouTube video, which in this case is from Kabam, but I'm going to pause it and just talk about different frames and not actually play the sound of the video or even the video part of the video, if that makes any sense. We're going to blacken the screen right now, and we're going to go to the video. And I have to say that I am so, like, in a way, shocked. One of my biggest takeaways from this video is that Kabam Jax kind of looks like a member of like the 2022 version of NSYNC. So this is Kabam Jax. I have to say this, I'm 34 now. When I started doing YouTube videos for MCFC, I was still in my 20s. Now late 20s, but I was still in my 20s. And I feel like so many of these people, they remind me of like what you see in sort of visuals or kind of concepts of maybe the California area tech community, you know, like San Francisco's best. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying here are these people creating the game that we all love. They all look so young and vibrant, and I've never felt older in my life. And I appreciate especially the mods on my channel that encourage me every day. But despite the fact that my channel has grown way more than I could have ever imagined, and certainly has more views than I ever thought were possible, I don't really view myself as a big deal at all. Like, I'm just kind of this dude who, I'm the McDonald's of MCOC, right? I deliver things to you fast, and hopefully you can digest them. Sometimes I get the order wrong. Sometimes it's too hot to handle. Sometimes maybe you think I should have stuck that patty back in the oven, or McDonald's case maybe microwave, and let it marinate a little bit longer. I get all that, and all that fair criticism. But at the same time, like, to be able to watch this and think, man, I actually influence how people process information in the contest, it's an honor. And I do think the more Kabam shows us the faces and voices, not just behind moderators, but also developers, the more we're going to feel like we really know what the community is all about. I'm not saying that means there's not going to be drama, especially when things happen like nerfs. Here's to you, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, which some of you said that synergy change actually prevented you from spending $50 or even $100 on the Scarlet Witch bundle on Tuesday, which was fascinating. So we're starting out with Kabam Jax, of course. But then we have a whole lot else to talk about. Now, I think for the sake of the aspect ratio here, I'm going to flip it. It's not going to look the best for you, but we'll flip it back. So just looking at this and thinking about this boss, y'all, I hated and struggled against more than words can say Act 7 Final Kang. Now looking at how much this Black Widow is going to wreck people, like, I know there are going to be people like KT1 and Legacy, Brian Grant, Karate Mike, so many of the top, most impressive players in this community, they're just going to look at this like, oh, this is so much fun. This is easy. But I'm one of those people that, like, I'm average, you know? My roster's not average, but I'm average. So I'm going to look at this fight and just think, is this the real eternity of pain? Because it feels like it. And I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. Like, this is Act 8. If we want to still enjoy the game at the highest levels, we have to not only do something with our roster, but we've got to be challenged. And the people at the very top of the community, the 1% of the 1% that have Lord knows how many rank 4 nows and the highest prestige levels, like, besides getting somebody like Quicksilver, who's a top 5 prestige. Somebody said top 2. Maybe he's number 2 now. Either way, like, hunting arena champs or throwing crystals at the new featured champion that's in the arena, like, that's part of the fun. But also testing your skills. And that's been the case since the beginning. I've just always felt like those best YouTubers are the cool kids at the lunch table. And I was like hanging out with the Island of Misfit Toys, like in the corner, and looking out over the cool kids and just thinking, do I even belong in the same room as those people? And then I just keep eating my, applesauce or whatever. Doesn't work in this analogy. So that looks like it's going to be tough. On top of that, though, as we move along, the Battleground stuff, I can see why this is going to be ultra competitive. Now, what's interesting to me is how many trophy tokens they're showing. 60,000, 45,000, 30,000. That's a lot. And I expect the rewards for Battlegrounds to be what Alliance War rewards were when they first came out in seasons. I expect them to sort of feel like they break the game. It kind of reminds me of what it always feels like with the number 1, and I guess in last year's case, 1 through like 30 of the gifting rewards, where you're just like, what? There are going to be people out there or alliances out there that get everything from a guaranteed Wish Crystal 6-star maybe to all the rank rewards you could want to 6 stars, whatever. And so, personally for me, because I was asked about this a little bit, I'm going to do this occasionally, but I just can't justify the amount of time it's going to take to be involved in this, especially now that there are no energy costs and you can keep doing this forever, it sounds like. And I've got friends, I've got mods, I've got community members who are probably going to get bored. They're going to be like, you know what? I want to fight Prof Hoff in Battlegrounds. And look, I'm not saying I won't do it occasionally, even maybe during streams. Maybe that's going to be a fun thing to do sometimes during streams. But I can't just suddenly dedicate a large portion of my schedule to Battlegrounds. I actually am far more relaxed now that the beta is out of the game. And I can't commit to it. This game already feels like multiple full-time jobs, and I have a YouTube channel that gets me some revenue, even if it's just like $5 some days, to justify playing this game. 99.9% of people who play this game don't have a way to make money off of it. They're just dumping money into it. And I think the people who are at the very top of the progression level are going to spend so much time in Battlegrounds that they're maybe going to invest even more into it. And that just makes my head hurt when I think about it. I do wonder between, and I know this isn't going to be the case with people like Quicksilver who are top 5. I think those scores could just continue to go up. It's hard to say going to continue this late at night, sorry. But this, even more so, has got to give the people who just like to, say, run the arena and drive up how many times they're top 100. Well, now, if they want to be the best summoners with the best rewards, my guess is they're going to spend their accounts time not in the arena, but in Battlegrounds. And so that's going to bring down arena scores even more. So I do think, optimistically, this is going to be decent for arenas. With that being said, we've got so much else to cover in here. And the mastery loadout system that's going to be changed, it's a huge step in the right direction. It makes me wonder why we haven't seen this before just in the game in general, because we've been asking for it for 7 years, where you can change up your mastery decks with just a specific amount of units. You would think, because they said before that it's way too complicated, but you can think if you can do this and apply the mastery loadouts to different decks of Battlegrounds, that's way more complicated. To me, on paper, I'm not a coder, but just way more complicated than just doing it in general for the game. And I do wonder also, are you going to be spending a specific amount of units to go in and out of that? Because that's going to add up fast. And make no mistake about it, Kabam wouldn't spend so much time and effort and money. They really are putting all their chips all into Battlegrounds. If this fails, and last time I remember them trying to do something like this, it was Incursions, and that really was a tremendous fail overall, I think. This could be the death of the game. I'm not trying to say that to get clicks. I'm not trying to scare people. But can you imagine if they put all that money into Battlegrounds, then they don't get much out of it? Like, that's going to be the risk. And so part of me is also wondering, how are they going to make money out of this? I think in the days and weeks ahead, as we get ready for this to roll out, we're going to see some specifics that make your eyes go, oh, that's where people are going to be blowing units. That's where people are going to be spending. Because before, it was at least on energy refills, because it was energy. But if they remove the energy costs, you've got to transfer the ability to make some kind of income somewhere else. So mastery loads are a lot to talk about. And then we've got the new champions. We've got the new Doom Iron Man, who looks pretty amazing and will be chased after. And then was it Titania? Am I saying that right? Who, let's be honest, is not going to be the same hype as Doom. The new Doom combined with Iron Man is everything. I still can't believe you have these amazing, and I thought about this when I talked to Kabam Broccoli, but you have these amazingly like young people who are designing champions. I'm like, man, you look like somebody I went to high school with. I know you're probably in your 20s, maybe 30s, but what am I doing with my life? It almost makes me feel like I'm just far behind the rest of the top of human beings, which that's kind of like this game. I'm never going to be that way, so I just got to take a step back and accept my lot and be thankful for who I am and what I've been able to accomplish, for better or for worse. So, this is a longer video than usual, over 12 minutes. I need to stop the length here. I tried to cover some of the points. Kabam Jax looks like a member of NSYNC. That's one of my takeaways. But also, Battlegrounds is going to be a full-time commitment for the people at the very top of it. It's going to take more time, I think, for people to really invest in, and certainly more energy than War, than Alliance Quest, than Act 8. This is going to be where Kabam pushes so much of the community. And if you're like me, a lot of times you're going to say, screw that. I don't want to do that. So just don't. And play it casually. Play with your friends. Figure out what rewards work for you. But if anything, this is going to make me like slow down even more, which is probably the opposite of what Kabam wants. But I'm just not that competitive. And I'm also cheap. I don't want to blow units I could spend for many other things on Battlegrounds. So I'll do what I do. And if I end up not playing it at all, so be it. That's the end of my rant. Agree, disagree. I don't know. Either way, thanks for watching. Have a good one.